Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the March, is it the 25th? Holy cow, March 25th, 2025 meeting of the Lewis and Clark County Commission. We usually start this program off with the Pledge of Allegiance, and we're going to do that today. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So now we have to introduce everybody. I am Candace Payne. I'm the chairman of this operation. And to my immediate left is Commissioner Tom Rolfe.
Good morning.
Good morning, Tom. Brandy Spangler is going to be keeping track of all of our records and keeping us from stepping out of line there. Nico Hash is on my right. He is from the County Attorney's Office. Good morning, Nico. I know that. You're Keegan Shea. What in the world? Well, I'm kind of a Twitter because Senator Sheehy's representative is in the audience, and I'm trying to be dignified and all that stuff. It doesn't work very well for me. Roger Baltz is our CAO, and he will be helping us maintain the course here. We have a sign-in sheet right in the front on that little table right there. Be sure and sign in and give us your contact information. We next have consent action items 2A, B, C, and they will be presented by Roger Baltz. Roger?
Thank you, Chair Payne and Commissioner Rolfe. As you just indicated, Chair Payne, this is item 2 on the agenda for you to consider today. The first item is item 2A, Resolution 2025-20, declaring county property surplus property. Staff recommends approval of that item. Next item is item 2B, Resolution 2025-21, declaring county property to be surplus property, and staff recommends approval of that item. The last item for you today, Commissioners, under consent is item 2C, D.A. Davidson Non-Corporate Organization and Associations Resolution, and staff recommends approval of that item. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Roger. Is there any discussion from the commission?
None.
Anything to say? Okay, is there any public comment? Speak now or forever hold your peace. This is your opportunity. We have a motion to approve the action items.
Chair Payne, I would move to approve the consent action items to A, B, and C as explained by Mr. Baltz.
I second that motion. Is there any further comment from the commission?
No.
Then let's have a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it, 2-0. These consent action items are approved. Number 3 on our list of adventures is the grant application to the State of Montana Disaster and Emergency Services Division, and will be presented by our friend, Mr. Kyle Sturgill-Simon.
Madam Chair, Commissioner Rolfe, thank you. Again, I'm Kyle Sturgill-Simon. I'm the Emergency Manager for Lewis and Clark County. Before you is a request for permission to apply for the EMPG, Emergency Management Performance Grant. This is a federal grant that's managed by State Disaster and Emergency Services. We apply for this each year, and we apply it toward our personnel and benefits for the program. We're going to be asking for the same amount that was awarded last year in the amount of $70,500. This requires the same in match, so we would be providing $70,500 in match on the county side. We are applying for the same amount that we were awarded last year, but we have been given a heads up that we're to expect less due to funding difficulties at the federal level. In the documents is a designation letter designating myself and Autumn Ashdale, the DES coordinator in the program, to act on your behalf in regard to this grant, and then also an assurances form for non-construction programs, all kind of par for the course.
Excuse me, would you say that last little sentence thing again? I didn't understand what you were saying.
Oh, not a problem. So in your packet, for us to apply, there's a letter designating us as your applicant agent. And then there's also a form requiring signature that is a non-construction assurances, the old 424B. And just a federal assurance, I believe in terms of non-lobbying.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from the commission?
Chair Payne,
Certainly.
you indicated maybe some question about how much we would actually get. Do you think we'll have a firm indication of that before we set our budgets?
It's sort of hard to tell. We haven't had a notice of funding opportunity from the federal level yet. So we're working off of assumptions based on last year for the application. The state kept their application deadline the same so that we'd be able to get all the paperwork squared away, but they're also working off of the same numbers from last year.
All right, might as well get the request in now. All right.
Chair Payne.
Roger?
Thank you, Chair Payne and Commissioner Rolfe. As we go through our budget cycle this year, I know that you've been through them, several years now. But if we are not certain of a revenue source, we will budget conservatively until there's clarity on that, so that we're never in a position of not having revenues to cover our expenditures. So I just wanted to mention that as we go through our budget cycle this year in answer to your question. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that this is a great assurance to the public. So thanks for clarifying that.
Besides, it's the right thing to do.
That's right.
I have a question regarding the assurances, non-construction programs. This is a standard form to be filed when we're dealing with federal money. Is that correct, or do I need further clarification?
Madam Chair, that's correct. This is a standard form. We submit this each year with our application. It's maybe not as regularly submitted for a lot of different grants, but it's one that's required on FEMA side. For the most part, it's requirements in terms of environmental compliance, Davis-Bacon. For the most part, it doesn't apply to our program, but we submit it anyway.
Okay. Any further questions? Is there any public comment on this matter? Seeing no public comment coming forward, let's have a motion, Tom.
Chair Payne, I move that we approve the grant application to the State of Montana Disaster and Emergency Services Division as explained by Kyle Sturgill-Simon.
I second that motion. Do we have further comment? Seeing none, let's have a vote. All in favor of the motion to approve the grant application to the Montana Disaster and Emergency Services Division as presented by Mr. Sturgill-Simon, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passed 2-0. One escapee, I see. That's okay. Good morning. We're agenda item number 4, amendment number 3 to the grant award from Montana Department of Natural Resources and Conservation to be presented by Ann McCauley. Thank you, Ann. Go for it.
Good morning, Chair Payne, Commissioner Rolfe. This is a two-part item. I'll do the first item first, which is this amendment number 3 to a grant award from the Montana Department of Natural Resources and Conservation. This is for an American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA, Minimum Allocation Award. As a reminder, this is the funding that is available through the state for water and sewer specific projects. This specific award is for the 10-mile Pleasant Valley Water and Sewer District. We've been working with the 10-mile Pleasant Valley District for about 2 years now, and the main project was to do a chemical pH adjustment for their effluent out at their site north of town. The district has done the majority of all those improvements and are kind of at the tail end of the project. They have a little bit of funding remaining, which they would like to utilize to install concrete barriers and utility markers throughout their treatment site. To get that work done, they're requesting an extension for this grant award through the end of December 31 of 2025. The current award is through March 31 of 25. So yes, this amendment is to extend the performance period as well as add that additional scope of the concrete barriers and utility markers. Staff recommendation is to approve.
Thank you. And do we have any questions from the commission?
Just
Oh.
if I might, these ARPA funds had to be committed before the end of 24 and completed before the end of 26 calendar year. And so we're just kind of continuing into the next year as it needs to be finished up, but pretty well used up at this point.
Yes, Commissioner Rolfe, thank you. The state's funds, actually, they're requesting that all funds be expended by the end of 2025. So we do not anticipate any of our minimum allocation grants that are being funded through the state ARPA funding going beyond 2025. For the direct allocation of funds that the county received, it is December 31 of 26. But yes, this project is very near its finish line. This is just to get a little bit more additional work done.
All right. And it just as, if I might continue,
Certainly.
we had established that we wanted to use these one-time funds for one-time projects that didn't carry on in extensions, and this is just another example of that. No extra funding needed later on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any public comment on this matter? I have a comment that we're talking water and sewer. Someday we're going to have to fix this again. I mean, 100 years from now or 50 or whatever it is. It's ongoing, but we didn't start a program that will need continual funding, correct?
Chair Payne, that's correct. Yes, I don't know the lifespan of what this intended chemical treatment is, but they also did some road work out at the lagoons to shore up, those roads that you have to be able to access. And so, yes, this was a critical maintenance and long-term improvement to the system.
Thank you, Ann. Is there any public comment? I guess I already asked for public comment. Keegan is awfully picky about making sure I do the public comment. So no public comment. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Believe we need a motion to approve the amendment number 2.
Number
3 to grant award from the Montana Department of Natural Resources and Conservation as presented by Ann McCauley.
So moved.
Second, all in favor of, now I have to ask for further comment. Any further comment, Tom?
No.
Okay, I have no further comment. The motion has been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes 2-0. Item number 5 is the amendment number 2 to the sub-recipient agreement between Lewis and Clark County and the 10 Mile Estates Pleasant Valley Water and Sewer District. I'm a little confused, Ann. Okay, so the first one was for this, but it was through the Department of Natural Resources and Conservation. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct, Chair Payne.
Okay, and now this is the one directly with the Water and Sewer District. Okay.
Yes,
Go for it.
thank you.
Give us a presentation here.
Yes, Ann McCauley, Grants and Purchasing Director. So yes, I appreciate the confusion around this. So following the item that was just approved, which was our grant award amendment with Montana Department of Natural Resources, this is now our amendment number 2 with 10 Mile Creek Estates, Pleasant Valley Water and Sewer District directly. So the way the state's program ran was that local government was the required applicant. So we were able to sponsor water and sewer districts for their projects, but Lewis and Clark County was the required applicant for those funds. So in order to be able to transfer those funds to the water and sewer district for this work, we did it through a subrecipient agreement. This is a common way that the county and other local governments do this when they're the required eligible applicant. Our CDBG programs are very similar with subrecipients. So following on the heels of the approval of the grant award to extend this project, now our subrecipient agreement is going to extend through December 31 of 2025. That also ended March 31 prior to this amendment. It's the exact same amendments. It's to extend and also add that additional work of the concrete barriers and the utility markers. Staff recommendation is to approve.
Thank you, Ann. Is there any questions from the commission?
No.
Is there any public comment? Seeing no public comment, let's have a motion.
Chair Payne, I would move to approve amendment number 2 to the subrecipient agreement between Lewis and Clark County and 10 Mile Creek Estates, Pleasant Valley Water and Sewer District, as explained by Ann McCauley.
Second. It has been moved and seconded that we approve this amendment number 2 to the subrecipient agreement as presented by Ann McCauley. All in favor? I'm supposed to make sure there's no other comments from the commission.
No, I just think it's great to have somebody like Ann and her staff that are keeping us intact, doing everything in the way we need to have it done, so that we don't have any problems in working with these federal funds. So,
Okay.
thank you.
I would concur with that, Tom. Thank you for pointing that out. So, let's have, the motion has been made and seconded. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes 2-0, and good job for getting that all taken care of, Ann. Thank you. Well, we have come to the moment in our agenda in which we take the public comment on any public matter within the jurisdiction of this commission that is not on the agenda above. Okay. We have guests from Senator Sheehy's office. Would you like to, why don't you come up and introduce yourself to all the people in TV land?
All right. Well, hello. My name's Thomas. I'm with Senator Sheehy's office. I'm the regional director for Central Montana. So I've got 15 counties that I handle outreach in those counties. I believe I've already been in contact with, I forget her name, but I had sent an email on CDS requests, and an individual from Lewis and Clark County reached out to me yesterday, had a couple questions on those requests. I wasn't able to answer those questions particularly.
Excuse me?
Yes.
I'm really bad with acronyms. What is CDS?
Congressionally directed spending.
Thank you.
And I believe I sent an email to everybody on the commission, but if not, I can definitely
Okay.
re-up that. But somebody from Lewis and Clark County reached out, had a couple of questions on those requests and sort of the parameters that we had set out, the requirements for those requests. I was able to connect her with the person on our team in Washington who is handling that effort. So hopefully those questions have been answered. But basically, I'm here to introduce myself. That's kind of my role. We've been meeting with county commissioners kind of all throughout central Montana. And I'm here to be that sort of intermediary between the different counties, local officials, and the senator's team. He appreciates the local input, and it can be really just a broad range of issues. If there's something going on in Helena, or a project that you want to see that might require federal help, or really the list goes on and on. I'm kind of there to be that intermediary. We've got a great state team, so we work really closely together. I understand we're a little bit of a smaller overall team than Senator Tester had, but we work very well, and we work very closely with Washington, D.C. So the Senate just got off a very short recess, so I don't have a legislative update. But again, if there are any bills that you want an update on, any issues that you want an update on, I can certainly facilitate that. But here to introduce myself, and thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for stopping by. And yes, now we have your number. And when one of our constituents calls in, what the heck are you going to do about that cell phone tower? It's going to... So that's when it's good to have somebody with higher reach than we have. So thank you for coming in.
Absolutely. Pass them off to me, and thank you again for having me.
Is there any further public comment? Seeing none, and I would really like to apologize to Keegan Shea for I'm just on automatic pilot. Nico is always, well, anyway, apologize, Keegan. And with that, we will adjourn this happy little gathering.